All right, so the year's coming to an end. It's the end of 2022, and it's the 31st today. And yeah, like it's been a rough fucking year, and I think I kind of, if I could sum it up in one way, I probably feel like how Lieutenant Dan feels in Forrest Gump. And yeah, it's rough. It's fucking rough. But all we can do is try again, and hopefully things get better as long as we just keep trying, right? But yeah, outside of that, actually, what I wanted to talk about is I find it really interesting. I guess if you after you see the title of the video, that I could get rid of pieces of my collection. Not get rid of, right? You're kind of the things that you buy kind of keep its value, right? So in this case, I'm getting rid of two of these ultra premium collections. I had like a couple. I was gonna open them, but then I kind of lost motivation in the hobby kind of recently. And yeah, I had these lying around, and I got rid of the Moonbryon as well too from Evolving Skies. I'm getting rid of this. I'll probably only get rid of one of these. I got rid of the Moonbryon already, and in exchange, I got me my first electric guitar. So I actually covered the name of the actual shop itself, because if you actually look at the box, it is kind of fucked up. It is fucked up. But yeah, I covered up the name because I don't think it's really the guitar shop's fault. But yeah, like the box is like heavily fucked up. I don't know if it shows on camera, but like when I got it, like it kind of like fluffed out a little bit since I let it sit for a bit. I just like passed out after I took the package. But it literally looks like the Undertaker took the box, turned it upside down, and tombstone power drivered it like through a table or something like that. But I don't think it's really the shop's fault. Probably it's because it's shipped by FedEx or whatever carrier would have been, right? But in this case, it was FedEx. For all I know, maybe they just like kind of tossed it. As for like, I've also kind of had that concern, right, when it comes to is like how well some things are packed. So in regards to if it will be safe when it arrives to you, who fucking knows? We're gonna unbox this, and then we're gonna see, I guess. Hopefully things are in one piece and it's packed well. I'm kind of iffy, but we'll see. Outside of that, we also picked up, I guess you need like a cable to play the instrument, so a cable's needed. And we also picked up a tiny amp. I heard good things about the Katana Mini. We'll see, because I did my research, and apparently having a good amp is really, really important when it comes to this. But since I'm just starting off, I don't think it really fucking matter. And amps are pretty expensive, so I figure I start off small, and then later on, if I have a really, really big interest in it, which I do have so far, I might save up for like a nicer amp, or if I get rid of parts of my collection and then trade up towards it, right? And then we'll go from there. All right, so let's get this bad boy out of the box. The funny thing about making YouTube videos, I realize, is that most of the time you never see like the bottom half of the person outside of like whatever filters and whatever crap people use. But like, for all you know, maybe I don't have any legs. But yeah, that's just a little tangent. But yeah, let's get this open. Hopefully, like I said, I covered the name of the shop because all I know, maybe things are gonna be extremely fucked up, and I'm gonna end up with a broken guitar. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't turn out that way, right? But let's just see. Man, I think it's pretty funny in there. I mean, I'm hoping for the best. Just because of the nature of like instruments, they're delicate. You don't really know if like it's gonna be like mega fucked up when you get it. So far, I don't know if I could show it. Like the box itself. Let me get this out of the way. Like if you look inside it, it's like literally just this empty space, and they have some of these like air bubble pockets, but it's not really that much. Just some. I can just hope like the actual box itself is in good condition, because there's really nothing else inside this box outside of some of those. So yeah. So the box itself, honestly, there is nothing inside aside from a couple of these. Kind of questionable. I mean, the actual box for the guitar itself seems like it's in good condition, but who knows how insanely tossed around this was. But let's take a look inside the box and see how it goes. Alright, so this setup is kind of scuffed. I don't really do unboxings of like large ass things like this, so it's pretty interesting. As you see, it's a Yamaha electric guitar, and the interesting thing about it is you would think Yamaha it would be made in Japan or something like that, but it's not actually. This is actually made in Indonesia. The box actually opens a lot easier than I thought it would. Yeah, so the main thing you're kind of hoping for is like it's not fucked up, right? Like there's no cracks, it's not like broken or whatever it is. What is this? So it comes with like a little booklet. It's pretty exciting. I've never had a electric guitar before. I was a little bit hesitant when I first started to start electric or acoustic. Comes with one of these like wrenches that you would use for furniture. Not quite sure what that is. I believe this is like, what do they call it? A trem bar? Or if you play Guitar Hero, it's a whammy bar. Not sure if I'll stick that on. What the hell is all this stuff? Why would you... I guess there's like an instruction manual. It might tell you what... Okay, it tells you how to like, intonate the guitar. Yeah, I am not gonna do that myself. I would assume all these tools are kind of you could do all like the settings yourself, which I don't plan to do. One funny thing is like when you talk about guitars is people talk about how if you get a new guitar, you might want someone to set it up for you or like bring it to a luthier, but like I don't know. All right, so yeah, looks great, I think. They're mainly looking for if anything is fucked up, right? No. At first I thought like maybe some stuff is scuffed, but it's because like the stickers are still on there. The actual guitar itself seems fine. Alright, I think we're in good shape. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. Looks gorgeous, and then so it's a Pacifica 112VM. I think the VM just stands for it's just like the different type of wood that's actually on the neck itself. But the only way to really know if it plays well and whatnot and all the electronics are working or not, I guess, is if we plug it into an amp. But I would assume this thing just kind of like sticks into this slide and I just kind of screw it in. The one thing I'm actually curious about actually is there's a screw here on the end that goes into these strings that are holding the high E string down, or is it called the low E? But I wonder if I'm supposed to actually unscrew that, or it actually just holds it in place. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I'm gonna check it out and then but yeah, that's pretty much it. The thing looks gorgeous. I guess I'll kind of update after I test everything out to see if like things are like fucked up or something like that. But yeah, like I really like the color. It's like an ice blue color, and the action I already noticed is a lot lower. Action meaning the distance from the string to the actual fret of the guitar, which on the acoustic guitar when I'm doing like bar chords, and I notice like when you're doing chords and the gauge of the strings, meaning like the thickness of the strings, is a lot lower than the actual acoustic guitar, the Taylor that I have. So I think it'll be like completely different when I play it. So let me just end this part here, and then let me try to set everything up, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Alright, so fuck. It's been almost like a month and a half since I think I got this guitar, like maybe a month. It was the new year, right? So probably a month. So right now it's like mid-February. Yeah, life kind of sucked. It kind of got in the way, but it kind of gave me a lot of opportunity to just play around with the guitar. So far, really enjoy it. There's probably like a lot of scuff marks already on this thing. One thing I have to say though, like the difference between playing acoustic and playing an electric guitar is that I would say for a beginner like me, someone that just started off, I wish I kind of knew I could have started off with an electric instead. So when I first got it, I remember I said that the strings were kind of rusted, they feel kind of gunky. I think it's just because it was sitting in like an Alabama warehouse for like forever. I got this at a pretty good price, and it was like under 300, which a lot of people kind of give crap for like cheap guitars, but honestly I've been having a lot of fun playing it. I haven't really had a lot of issues. I think what they say is that there's like this HSS setup, so it's a humbucker and 2 single coils. What I did find is that a lot of people talk about finding your tone and things like that, and tones that you enjoy. And I would say it kind of makes a little bit more sense once I actually started playing more, and I guess like learning more about the guitar, right? So what I've pretty much come to a conclusion was that in regard to positions, most songs you'll probably end up either on the last position, which is the humbucker, which comes like a little bit more strong when you're playing like things like more like rock kind of feel. And then the 4th position was 1 position higher than that, is something more for somewhere in between. But at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter like what songs you play. It's just kind of like what you really enjoy, like how it sounds. So I've been kind of playing around with that. I don't really use like the high positions that much. I guess you could kind of use it for if you're playing things a little bit more pop, if that makes any sense, or something that doesn't require like a heavy tone. What I do enjoy is that honestly, like if you're living in like a really quiet place and you have like, I don't know, roommates or something like that, if you're honestly just like strumming the guitar just for like sounds, like even without it plugged into it's plugged into the amp right now, but I don't have any of the sound on at all, the volume's turned off, you could still kind of just like plug away at it, right? So it's like you still get like a tone out of it. With it on, this is at the top position, which is not all the way at the end, but 1 lower. I don't really like at the end because if you're 1 lower, I think it cancels the hum like a little bit. So you would kind of use it for more like songs like Heart of Gold or anything that doesn't have like a heavier tone. That's why I prefer using like the high position for. So it'll sound something like this, right? Just to give you like a kind of like a tone difference. It'll be like. So that's like at the top, right? So if I were to use like the humbucker, which is like all the way at the end, which is using this, the double coil, it'll sound like this, like same, like with the same chords, like. It's a lot louder, right? And then like I would say I would use like kind of like the humbucker and or like the 4th position, which kind of uses like the middle between these two, for something more along the lines of maybe like something like a Green Day song, right? Like I don't know, like let's just try like Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Like something like that, right? I don't really remember how the song goes. I think it's like. Some things I have been working on is just to give you like kind of like a tone difference, right? I guess I could use something more simple that I do remember. So I have the capo on 4th, same thing with like kind of like the humbucker at the 4th position towards the end. Something, I don't know, like if you're like playing like Take On Me or something, like, right? It'll sound like. So this is still at the 4th position. So if we were to change it to like the higher position, which is using closer to just like the single coils, I don't really like the end. The end one would kind of sound like this, right? And then that's like all the way to 5th position. So if we're using the 2nd position, I guess like the 1st position, I don't know. People kind of like use it in reverse. But the highest position, the two single coils, like, so it'll be 1 position lower than this. Same chords for like Take On Me, it'll be like. So I would kind of say like I found my favorite positions to be, that sounds so weird. That's what she said. Okay. So anyways, I found kind of like my favorite positions, still sounds very weird, to be the kind of the humbucker at the end for things like kind of like more rock. And then the 4th position I kind of used for almost literally everything. So it was like 1 step higher than that side. Like I just like the way it sounds. And you could kind of use it for like literally any song, right? So some things that are like a little bit more like pop-ish, like for things that are a little bit more pop, I kind of use the higher positions. So you're kind of mimicking a little bit closer to, I guess, like the acoustic sounding types, and not like not too heavy, right? So it would sound something like this if you're playing like something kind of pop-ish. And most songs, like midway, you would switch to like kind of towards like the humbucker, and like the same chords like F, G, E minor. I think it's E minor, E minor, major. But it's like once you switch to like the humbucker, it'll kind of sound like this, right? So it'll be like something like. So something like that, right? And then I think it's kind of very deceiving, I guess, like when you're a beginner, you would think like playing acoustic is probably like the way to go. But to be honest, like if I were to start again, or if I guess I would recommend anyone to start, I probably would recommend something like this. Like you don't really need like a really expensive guitar. I don't know if like Yamaha honestly like, makes like really good like music kind of instruments. Honestly, like even for the acoustic, I kind of wanted to go to the Yamaha, but then like the Taylor ended up being at a really good price, so I ended up getting that. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of rambling. But honestly, like if you're even playing like other songs, if just and this is all just to give you an example of what like the chords sound like, right? So I've been kind of working on like have you ever seen the rain? So like the beginning part, like this is with like this completely off. So if you're just without like the amp on, like the volume's completely off. If you're just looking to like strum around and play even without it plugged in, honestly I think it sounds nice. Like so sometimes I'm when I'm at my computer desk, I kind of just noodle around, and like this is what it kind of sounds like with the amp off, right? So that's with it off, right? And again, let's start off with just the humbucker, so all the way at the end, so a little bit of like the really, it's really loud, kind of like the heavier tone. So again, so it really depends, right? And then this is at the 4th position, which is one higher than the humbucker, which is kind of like my favorite position to use. The humbucker is a lot louder, so like I guess if you're switching, you would kind of have to turn down the volume. So that's at the 4th position, right? So we're gonna move it all the way up, so something a little bit sort of like closer to more acoustic sounding with the single coil. So sometimes, honestly, it depends on the song and depends on like how loud you strum these things. Like it's very, very hard to tell the difference. But I would say like across all sorts of genres, like you could play a lot of different kind of songs. Like I would say as a beginner, you could just start off with something that's considered like a beginner guitar. I would say I really don't have any complaints with it. The one thing I do like about the electric guitar is that it actually has like a concave part here. So when you're resting it against your body, actually, so it kind of like gives you this room. I don't know, like maybe some people might have like a belly or like a chest or something like that, where it's very, very comfortable just because it's kind of like caved in as opposed to, I guess, like the acoustic guitar was very, very bulky for me. Mine was not like a really full size. I think it was like a 3/4 size, and I still found it very, very big. Whereas with the electric guitar, I find it's a lot more comfortable to use. And honestly, like I said, right, it's so versatile in regards to the genre of music you want to play. So if you want to play even like, I don't know, even if you want to finger pick, or let's say you want to play like, I don't know, some Ghibli shit, like I mean, I haven't practiced it in so long, but like you could play literally anything with this. So yeah, so far I would say like my experience with the electric guitars, I honestly really enjoy it. Other than that, I would say I have no gripes. This was mainly kind of like an unboxing for me, as well as I guess me to go over like my thoughts about this. I really wasn't gonna go too in depth. Honestly, like I would say like if you're starting off with an electric guitar like me, I probably should just start off with this. It's just that you would kind of have to go think about like what kind of amp you would get, because I think having a good amp really, really matters. I ended up just getting like a really cheap one, the smallest like Boss Katana one, which I talked about. And I would say, like, in regards to like sound, there really isn't that many choices. And in hindsight, I probably should have just invested in like a better one. But I really don't have a lot of complaints. Other than that, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of like very impromptu, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about my feelings and my thoughts about getting something like a electric guitar and kind of like the transition between it. I've noticed that I kind of put down the acoustic for a while. So these are nines. I changed the strings, same thing to the Elixir nines. And again, the fact that the action is a lot lower makes me able to play bar chords a lot easier, as opposed to trying to play bar chords on the acoustic was like almost impossible, and it made my fingers hurt a lot. So that's also like a really big bonus as well too, because my acoustic, I think I have 12 gauges, which are very, very thick strings, and the action is very high, which I'm looking to lower that. I think realistically, I'm probably going to change the acoustic strings to 10s, which I might be one of the lowest ones I could get on acoustic, 10s, and then maybe try to lower the actions. And then I might enjoy playing the acoustic a lot more as opposed to just sticking with the electric. But for now, I think like just learning and trying to play songs, I would say using the electric guitar is perfect. And I honestly recommend it to anyone who's looking to learn guitar and just start off. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, guys. Take care.